Good afternoon. It's 12 o'clock on this Friday, and the Indiana State Fair is officially open this afternoon. The governor, lieutenant governor there at the state fairgrounds early this morning to cut the ribbon and welcome the Hoosiers to the fairgrounds for the weeks of fun. So the cows are out there, the competitions, all the things are underway. If you can't make it out today, the fair is going to be open through August 17th, closed on Mondays. Look at those little piglets. Aww. Certainly would say try to get out there today. There's something magical about going on the first day, and the weather today couldn't be more perfect. Yes. So Lindsay joins us now and also is monitoring some air quality alerts as well. Yes. This is something that's not typically on our radar.
It's something that comes with a northerly wind, and it's been so hot, so humid. It's been a south wind bringing all that in. Now that we've changed it up, feels much better outside. That northerly wind component takes a lot of that Canadian wildfire smoke in the atmosphere and pushes it in our direction. So we're not in the peak of where it's the most unhealthy, but we could potentially see those who have some breathing concerns want to limit some of that outdoor time. I think you'll notice a milky sky to go along with that as well. Let's talk about some of those events going on today, then we'll get into your air quality. Right now, we are watching some hazy sunshine as temperatures are set to rebound back to 78. So that's it for today. You probably got a taste of that fall feel yesterday if you were out and about in the evening hours. We've got the lineup tonight from Chris Stapleton at Ruoff to the Taylor Swift tribute and Three Dog Night at the fairgrounds. It'll be a good evening, and we've got a clear and pleasant night ahead. 74 your current temperature in Indy. We've got 73 in Shelbyville. We're at 74 in Bloomington. So everybody getting in on that more comfortable air mass. We've been watching just a few of the fair weather clouds stroll in off of this weak wave coming out of Ohio. But outside of that, we've got a completely clear sky, and it's going to be quite the setup. We are looking at the pleasant air taking back over. Still some humid spots down to our south. And again, as we mentioned, the wind flipping out of the north, that's going to be a game changer for our air quality. We were all in that good zone yesterday, but now we are in the moderate around the Indy Metro, northern parts of the state in that sensitive zone and that orange zone. And we still have some very unhealthy air draped across the Midwest, now making its way into the Plain States. So we'll talk more about air quality alerts as we head into the weekend, that full weekend outlook, and when temperatures start to heat back up. Emery.
Lindsay, thanks so much. This afternoon, we're hearing from a friend of Antu Nguyen. She is the pilot who died earlier this week, shortly after taking off from the Indy South Greenwood Airport. Friends say that flying was a calling for Antu Nguyen. Jamie Swanson was one of the people that was inspired by Nguyen. They originally met in Wisconsin when Jamie was interested in becoming a pilot.
Antu was at one of the booths at the Women Venture area, and it was the Asian Women in Aviation booth. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is a thing, like Asian women flying. Like, I was just inspired at that moment because I didn't even know that there was a booth for that particular group.
Nguyen founded a nonprofit back in 2018 called Asian Women in Aerospace and Aviation. Last year, Nguyen became the 10th woman in the world to fly around the world solo. In her social media videos, she said she was completing that trip once again, and her flight on Wednesday was part of that. A preliminary report on the plane crash will take about a month. A full report from the feds isn't expected for another year. An Indianapolis Metro police officer who is recovering after someone shot him during a traffic stop earlier this week may have a tourniquet to help him survive. The tourniquet came from a trauma kit that was made by the Central Indiana Police Foundation. They've handed out thousands of these kits all across the area. Each one is packed with tools to stop bleeding and to save lives. But now they say these life-saving supplies are in such high demand, they're trying hard to keep up.
We've got a waiting list for about 180 kits. And so the funds that will come in, we'll order the materials to put those kits together, and then we'll bring in volunteers to help us put those kits together and distribute those.
Each kit costs about $125, and they're fully funded by the community. No tax dollars are used. The foundation now still trying to meet the growing demand, especially as more departments are adding new officers. If you'd like to pitch in and donate or even help put together the kits, we've put a link on our website at WTHR.com where you can get involved. Right now, Indiana State Police are stepping up efforts to take guns and drugs off the street through their criminal interdiction squad. Logan Gay is breaking down just how much they've seized so far and the impact they say it's making already.
When people think of the Indiana State Police, the first things that come to mind may be traffic stops and highway patrols. But they are a full-service police agency, and when they saw a need to go after some of the bigger crimes, that's when they launched the Criminal Interdiction Squad.
And what we find when we find those people is oftentimes those people lead us to others who aren't supposed to have guns.
That's not all the crimes the leads have led to. ISP sent 13 news pictures of some of the drugs and guns they've taken off the streets. Sergeant John Ryan says in this year alone, so far this squad has confiscated 93 pounds of meth, more than 15 pounds of cocaine, 13 pounds of heroin and fentanyl, plus they've recovered 26 stolen cars and found 4 human trafficking victims.
We can look at those statistics and easily recognize the difference they're making in our community. But what we can't quantify is the number of lives that have been saved from getting the drugs off the street and the illegal guns off the street.
As they look towards the future, they consider new drugs coming out and advancements in technology. Sergeant Ryan says it's important for the squad and the agency to adapt.
Things that were happening 10 years ago aren't happening today. Things that are happening today are things we've never seen or thought about, and we've got to stay on top of that.
The squad works very closely with officers from other agencies, especially IMPD, but they say their most important partner is you.
To make this city safer is we need help from the community. We need people to report things when they see things. We need people to give us information that may help us in these investigations.
This afternoon, Metro Police are trying to figure out how 12 stolen vehicles from multiple states ended up here in Indy. Investigators say a tip that came from police out east in Massachusetts helped them find a stolen car here in Indy. And a search of the property then uncovered 11 other stolen vehicles. Some of them are high-end, including a $250,000 Rolls-Royce and other vehicles like a Mercedes, Lexus, and Cadillac. Investigators say the value of all the cars found so far totals more than $1 million. 3 of the vehicles were reported stolen here in Indiana. The other 9 came from Illinois, Georgia, New Jersey, and Florida. Officers shared this warning for drivers.
We've asked that you make sure that you're keeping your cars locked. We ask that you keep them clean and free of anything that may make someone think, I might want to get in that vehicle, right? Let's just do our part and work together as a community and keep it safe.
The investigation is underway, and Metro Police say if you have any information about these stolen cars, they would like to hear from you. You can also call Crime Stoppers. The Avon Police Department says ICE agents detained nearly 24 people during a monthly traffic blitz. They say agents identified 22 people who were unlicensed, who provided false or insufficient information last week. 20 were detained on federal immigration charges, and 2 of them were released, while 18 others remain in custody. Avon police say they've been assisting ICE in normal operations now for several months. The Indiana DOC now confirming that Richard Allen was moved to a prison out of state, the move for his own safety. Last fall, a jury found Allen guilty of killing 2 teens, Abby Williams and Libby German, in Delphi. And as we reported earlier this month, Allen was moved west to a facility in Oklahoma. Now the IDOC telling 13 Investigates they moved Allen as a precaution, not due to any specific incident or threat. Allen, by the way, meantime, is appealing his conviction in the Delphi murders case. It's now been 3 years since Elwood police officer Noah Shanez died in the line of duty during a routine traffic stop. That's why his family and law enforcement family came together at the Elks Lodge in Elwood. The officers say it was about taking time to remember Officer Shanez and giving back to the community that he served.
We shared some food, we shared lots of stories, lots of hugs, and then the coolest part was Noah's family has raised money to give backpacks to the local school filled with school supplies. And so we were given the opportunity to help pack those backpacks tonight at this gathering. As these kiddos get back for their first day of school, now they can have those backpacks courtesy of the Shanez family.
Carl Boards now is charged with killing Officer Noah Shanez. His trial is scheduled for January.